Going into our marriage, it was actually just super easy and full of love, and I couldn't imagine having hard times with him. We got pregnant really early on in our marriage. It was pretty unexpected, but we were still excited to start our family and watch it grow. In reality, we grew apart and started to fill our schedules with social things and started living life as married singles. So about a year and a half after we got married and had Quinley, he fell in love with another woman at work, and we both engaged with this woman on a daily basis, and so that was really hard. I found out that they had started an emotional affair. Life kind of imploded on itself because we didn't know where to go from there. He genuinely loved another person. Ultimately, we decided to press in for healing and restoration for our marriage, so he stopped seeing her. Fast forward 10 months, and I discovered that John has fallen back into a different type of infidelity. He engaged in another relationship with this woman online. I discovered that this relationship had been going on actually for about 4 or 5 months. So while we were putting our marriage back together, while we were in professional counseling and doing all the things to heal from the first time he was engaging with this other woman. So at that point, I had made the decision to separate from him. And 2 days after that, I found out that I was pregnant. I just remember crying on the floor, waiting for a friend to get to my house because I had just found out I was pregnant, and I was just a mess. And I heard God as plain as day. I heard him say, just take care of yourself and I will take care of him. Once he found out about our son coming, he had this new desire to become a better man. And I think for the first time, he reached out to God and said, God, help me with this, instead of just trying to be better on his own. In the 9 months that I was pregnant with my son, I saw the marriage grow stronger and deeper than it had ever done before. So by the time Pierce was born, we were in a really good place, and he was in love with his son, and I was in love with our family, and I was thanking God that we had somehow managed to bring an intact family unit for Pierce when he was born. About 2 years later, we had another setback, and John found himself addicted to pornography. And it was affecting our marriage, and it was affecting our sex life, and it was affecting our connection levels once again. A pornography addiction didn't feel like it was the end, but it left me in a really big place of hopelessness, feeling worthless and feeling unworthy of being loved unconditionally. And after extending so much love to him throughout all of this, it just was a really big slap in the face. At one point, I remember sitting on the couch and saying, I just can't. Unconditional love is too hard. I just can't. And thinking that I was a lost cause. I was beating myself up because I just couldn't get back to that place of truly loving him. Three giant setbacks like this in a marriage are enough to, most people walk out. God stepped in, and I had this overwhelming experience of understanding Jesus in a way that I had never understood before, where, he loved all of us unconditionally, and we do terrible things every day, and he continues to forgive us, and he continues to love us. And God really challenged me with that and said, Jesus did this for you, and he did this for every single person. Can you not do this for one person in your life? You're his wife. If you can't love him unconditionally, who will? I also heard him say, imagine if a guy who's never felt unconditional love in his life from any of his family, imagine if he felt that for the first time. Imagine the change that could make in his life. So where are we today? We are doing really well, and John has pressed in for even more healing from all of this. He's walked in accountability with a really strong community of guys, and we have committed to counseling as a lifestyle. So we go about once a month to our counselor and just check up and talk about things. And our family has continued to grow and double. Last year, we got pregnant with identical twin girls. And to be honest, it's been a really challenging season, but an incredibly joyful season for us. Where we thought we were going to be stressed and at each other's throats, we have laughed together every single day and just become closer. And I've learned through my journey that, God is not in the business of fixing things. Sometimes things need to die in order to be brought new life and be put back together in a way that you could have never done yourself. When it comes to my marriage and when it comes to other aspects of my life, I'm almost eager to just submit it over to God now and say, you take it, Lord, because I know that what He'll do with it is way better than what I could ever do on my own.